Every day, your brain is changing. It is constantly adapting, rewiring itself, and responding to the habits you repeat most often. The surprising part is that your brain doesn't necessarily adapt in ways that benefit you. It simply adapts to whatever lifestyle you expose it to repeatedly. If your days are filled with endless scrolling, poor sleep, stress, distractions, and little time for deep thinking, your brain slowly adjusts to that environment. Over time, concentration becomes more difficult. Motivation feels inconsistent. Simple tasks begin to require enormous effort. Eventually, you may start feeling mentally exhausted without understanding why. Most people don't realize these changes are happening. They assume they are becoming lazy, losing intelligence, or simply getting older. But neuroscience suggests something very different. In many cases, the brain isn't broken. It's overwhelmed, it's overstimulated, it's overworked, and sometimes, it's desperately asking for a reset. Just like your phone slows down when too many applications are running. Your brain can become cluttered by constant inputs, unprocessed stress, poor routines, and never-ending stimulation. Fortunately, the brain possesses an incredible ability called neuroplasticity. This means it can recover, reorganize, and rebuild itself. The first step toward improving your mind is recognizing the warning signs. Today, we'll explore 7 signs that your brain may be begging for a reset. Some of these signs might surprise you. You may even recognize yourself in several of them. And the 7th sign is one that millions of people experience every single day. Without realizing it's quietly sabotaging their happiness and productivity. So let's begin. Sign 1. You can't focus on one thing for more than a few minutes. Maybe you've noticed yourself opening your laptop to work. Within minutes, you check your phone. Then you answer a message. 5 minutes later, you've forgotten what you originally intended to do. At first, this may seem harmless. Everyone gets distracted occasionally, but when distraction becomes your default mental state, it significantly affects how your brain functions. Neuroscientists often describe attention as a limited resource. The brain wasn't designed to switch rapidly between dozens of tasks. Each interruption comes with what researchers call a cognitive switching cost. Every time you shift your focus, your brain spends energy disengaging and re-engaging. Eventually, these constant transitions exhaust your mental resources. This is one reason many people feel mentally drained despite accomplishing very little. Their minds stay busy all day, but they rarely experience deep concentration. Modern technology plays a major role in this problem. Notifications, social media feeds, and endless videos train the brain to seek novelty. Your brain starts expecting stimulation every few seconds. Silence becomes uncomfortable, reading feels slow, studying feels boring, work becomes frustrating, not because you've become less intelligent, but because your brain has adapted to a highly stimulating environment. Fortunately, attention can be retrained. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance training, focus strengthens through practice. Start small, set a timer for 20 minutes. Choose one task. Put your phone in another room. Close unnecessary tabs. Allow yourself to become slightly uncomfortable. At first, your mind may rebel. You'll suddenly remember random things you need to do. You're not failing. You're simply noticing how dependent your brain has become on constant stimulation. With consistent practice, your ability to focus begins improving. And when focus improves, almost every other area of life becomes easier. Learning becomes faster. Memory becomes stronger. Decision-making improves. Even anxiety often decreases because a focused mind tends to wander less. If concentrating feels nearly impossible these days, your brain may be sending an important message. Slow down. Reduce distractions. Give yourself permission to think deeply again. Sign 2. You feel tired even after sleeping. Many people sleep for 7 or 8 hours and still feel mentally foggy. They wake up unmotivated. Simple decisions feel overwhelming. Their memory seems weaker. People often assume this is simply adulthood. They say things like, "I'm getting older. I just need more coffee." But mental fatigue isn't always caused by lack of sleep. Sometimes it's caused by poor quality recovery. Your brain performs essential maintenance during sleep. It removes waste, consolidates memories, repairs neural pathways, balances hormones, regulates emotions, restores cognitive performance. But modern lifestyles interfere with these processes. Late-night scrolling, watching stimulating videos before bed, irregular sleep schedules, stress, caffeine consumption, constant exposure to artificial light. All of these factors can reduce sleep quality, even if you're technically asleep for many hours. Researchers have found that sleep deprivation particularly affects the prefrontal cortex. This region controls self-control, planning, and logical thinking. When the prefrontal cortex underperforms, everything feels harder. Small inconveniences become frustrating. You procrastinate more. Your motivation disappears. Your emotions become unpredictable. Imagine trying to drive a high-performance sports car with contaminated fuel. The engine still works, but efficiency drops dramatically. Your brain operates in a similar way. Without proper recovery, your mental performance slowly declines. One simple experiment can reveal whether your brain needs a reset. Spend 1 week prioritizing sleep. Go to bed at the same time. Reduce screen exposure before sleep. Most people are shocked by the results. They think they need more motivation. But what they actually needed was better restoration. A tired brain doesn't just feel slower. It struggles to become stronger. And if your mind constantly feels exhausted, it may not be asking for another cup of coffee. It may simply be asking for recovery. Sign 3. Nothing feels exciting anymore. Perhaps one of the most overlooked signs of an overloaded brain is losing interest in things that once brought you joy. Activities you used to enjoy now feel dull. Books remain unread. Hobbies seem pointless. Conversations feel draining. Even achieving goals doesn't provide much satisfaction. Many people become worried when this happens. They assume they've lost ambition, or that something is wrong with their personality. But often, the issue lies in the brain's reward system. Dopamine is commonly misunderstood as the chemical of happiness. In reality, dopamine is deeply connected to motivation and anticipation. The problem is that modern life offers dopamine in massive quantities. Social media, short-form videos, constant notifications, online shopping, streaming platforms, gaming, endless digital entertainment. These experiences provide quick bursts of stimulation. Over time, the brain begins expecting these intense rewards regularly. As a result, slower but meaningful activities become less appealing. Reading requires effort, learning feels tedious, exercise seems difficult, building long-term goals feels impossible. Your brain isn't damaged, it has simply become overstimulated. And overstimulation can make normal life seem boring. Fortunately, the brain can recover. Reducing unnecessary stimulation allows dopamine sensitivity to gradually improve. Simple activities begin feeling rewarding again. Conversations become more enjoyable. Work becomes satisfying. You start noticing pleasure in experiences that once seemed insignificant. This process doesn't happen overnight. But recognizing this sign early can prevent years of frustration. Because a brain that no longer finds meaning isn't necessarily broken. It may simply be overwhelmed and quietly asking for a reset. Sign 4. You constantly forget small things. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately forgotten why you went there? Have you ever picked up your phone and forgotten what you intended to do? Maybe you've started forgetting names, appointments, or where you placed everyday objects. These moments can feel frustrating. People often wonder if they're becoming less intelligent. But forgetfulness isn't always a sign that your brain is failing. In many cases, it's a sign that your brain is overloaded. Memory doesn't function well when attention is constantly divided. Think of memory like saving files on a computer. If dozens of programs are running, the system slows down. Your brain works similarly. To remember information, your brain first needs to fully process it. And processing requires attention, but modern life rarely allows sustained attention. People consume information while checking messages. They watch videos while eating. They listen to podcasts while scrolling social media. Their minds constantly jump between multiple streams of stimulation. As a result, information never gets enough space to be properly stored. Stress also plays a major role. Chronic stress increases cortisol levels, interfering with memory formation. Sign 5. You feel irritated by everything. Small inconveniences suddenly feel unbearable. Traffic annoys you more than usual. Minor disagreements ruin your entire day. At first glance, this may seem like a personality issue. But neuroscience suggests something deeper. Emotional regulation requires energy. The brain uses the prefrontal cortex to manage impulses. When this system becomes exhausted, emotional control becomes significantly harder. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack all day. Eventually, even tiny objects begin feeling overwhelming. Mental overload works the same way. Even small problems start feeling enormous. Sign 6. You have no motivation. You know exactly what you should do, but still can't do it. You know exercise would help. You know reading is beneficial. You know sleeping earlier would improve your energy. Eventually, guilt appears. People begin labeling themselves as lazy and weak-minded. But neuroscience paints a more compassionate picture. Motivation depends heavily on the condition of your brain. An overstimulated brain seeks immediate rewards. It prefers activities that provide instant pleasure. Scrolling feels easier. Watching videos feels easier. Resting feels easier. Your brain isn't necessarily choosing comfort because you're incapable. It chooses comfort because it has adapted to frequent instant gratification. Reducing unnecessary stimulation gradually restores the brain's sensitivity to normal rewards. Exercise becomes enjoyable again. Reading feels engaging. Completing tasks provides satisfaction again. The key isn't forcing yourself through punishment. The key is changing the environment your brain is adapting to. Small adjustments matter. Sign 7. You never feel truly present. This may be the most important sign of all. You could be sitting with friends while thinking about work, working while checking your phone, eating dinner while watching videos. Even during enjoyable moments, your mind seems elsewhere. Many people live this way for years. Eventually, life begins to feel strangely empty. Days blend together, weeks disappear. Neuroscientists often describe attention as the gateway to experience. Whatever captures your attention largely becomes your reality. A brain reset isn't only about productivity. It's about reclaiming your ability to fully participate in your own life. Watch a sunset without taking photos. Eat meals slowly. Talk to someone without checking your phone. Your brain is constantly adapting. The question is not whether it's changing. The question is what it's changing into. Start small. Protect your sleep. Reduce stimulation. Train your brain intentionally, and every area of your life begins to improve. Subscribe my channel, and if this video genuinely helped you think differently about your habits, leave a like so more people can find it, too.